Hi there, everyone, and welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Sara Newman, and I'm so happy you're joining me for this episode of Saturday with Sara. Today, we're taking a trip to the south of France with the gorgeous Provence collection from our friends at Stamperia. We have a really beautiful assortment of supplies, including an 8x8 pack of pattern papers. We have 2 sheets of rice paper and a package containing 40 chipboard die cuts, and you can see some of these here. Of course, we'll take a closer look at everything as we get into the 5 different card projects I have to share with you today, and you'll see how beautifully everything is coordinated and how wonderfully it all comes together. So as you can see, we have a lot to explore today, and I'm really glad you're here. Come play with us. Let's start with a simple card that combines these papers and embellishments. So here I've covered the front of my blank card with the bicycle pattern paper. So you've got this beautiful imagery as well as this collaging on here too. It's a great way to make a quick and easy card. So when you're flipping through the Provence collection, you'll notice that not only do you have a lot of different cutouts, you've also got some large images here, which work great as card focals. There's some more cutouts, and then some beautiful collage work as well. So lots of different options in this collection. And of course, lots of papers that work beautifully, just as very simple backgrounds that can be combined with these larger images. So the paper that I'm using for the front of my card is this one here with the bicycle. And to do this, all I've done, position the fold of my card up here at the top, and then I like to trim down the top edge of the paper before I align it with the fold of my card, just to make sure that I've got that large image positioned where I need it to be. And then I can just trim off any extra on here from the bottom or from either side. And that's what I've done here with this card. Now I've also got a border strip going along here. This is one of the cutouts from the collection, and I've got this popped up on some foam tape. Now I also have some gold edging going around the outside of my card front as well as on this border. And for this I've used the Midas Gold Pigment ink pad, probably one of my top favorite ink pads, especially for edging around cards as well as embellishments. It gives a really nice soft effect. It's pretty subtle, a little bit of golden shading around the edges. It's nothing too high gloss or high metallic. So it adds a really nice subtle touch to this. And then once I have this large image here and I've got my border, I don't need a whole lot more to decorate my card. So I've just got a script dazzle going across here. I have a butterfly chipboard element here and a little jute twine bow, and that's about all I need. And then when I open this up, you can see I have more pattern paper. I have an oval cutout from the paper pack and another one of those border strips here. And of course, a dazzle down here at the bottom with gold. And everything is inked with that gold ink pad, which means that I've got a really nice cohesive design with just a little touch of metallic. Okay, so that is our first card. Now I've got another card to show you, and this one uses more of those chipboard die cuts. And you can see here just on the card front. But first I want to show you those chipboard die cuts. So these are a lot of fun. Now you've got 40 in the package, but it's always nice to see them kind of all spread out together. So you can see you've got some large images. I'll show you a card that uses this one later. You have some smaller round shapes, heart shapes, butterflies, of course lots of lavender, whether it's in a canister or if it's hanging to dry. And then you can see here some more, also some for you messages, happiness messages, and so on. So there's really a nice collection. They're a good sturdy weight, and they're also a nice variety of sizes. So from larger images to elements that will work beautifully as just accent pieces. Okay, so back to the card. You can see here I've got a folded card design. So this opens like so. And I really like this easy card fold because it's a nice technique to use when you want to create something just a little bit different. So let me show you this. I'll bring in again my blank card. Now I've got the fold going along the side here. And to create this folded card, all I need to do is take one flap. This is the front flap, and I'm going to bring it right up to the fold of my card there. And then crease this down. Now you may also want to have a bone folder on hand to give you a nice crisp fold there. And then there you go. You've got your folded card front. And it can also open like that. So you've got a lot of different options then for decorating with this, which I really like. And I've just simply covered the various panels with pieces of pattern paper. Of course, I know they all go together perfectly, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I added my die cuts. So here's that large chipboard die cut. When I open this up, I have one of the circular pieces, a little bit of jute twine on here. Here's another chipboard die cut. So of course, when I close this up, that is hidden and then opens like so. And then on this side, I've got the butterfly, that little round butterfly on there. And of course, I've got lots of different pattern papers. I've got some of the borders cut along here just to cover up any seams that might be showing. Got a lot of that gold inking going around here as well. Now this tag is one of the cutouts from the collection, and then I've got a dazzle message on here, and this word is from the We're Together Dazzles collection. That collection also includes lots of little heart-shaped images, and those I've just kind of tucked around here. I've got a little tiny flower on this chipboard piece too. And of course, all of my edges are inked with gold, and that again creates a really nice shadow effect. Now I have another card that uses some chipboard to create the focal and a little bit of rice paper. So I'm going to grab a few supplies and we'll see how easy that is to do. For this card, I'm using the Eau de Lavande sheet of rice paper to create the foundation for my focal area here on my card. Now I'll talk about how to put the rest of the card together, but I wanted us to take a closer look at those rice papers just before we get into the demo. So you can see this is the Eau de Lavande sheet. That's one of the two. The other one is called Provence Bouquet. And both of them have this really gorgeous collage look, which is just very Stamperia. Stamperia is great at this. And the nice thing is that you can either use the entire sheet or you can pick certain areas to use. So you get a lot of mileage out of one sheet of rice paper, and it gives you a lot of different options, whether you decide to use a corner area or use a strip. You can also, of course, tear the rice paper by using a little bit of water first. So rice paper is a translucent, lightweight material with the texture of, I would say, mulberry paper. You can easily adhere it to a sturdier surface like cardstock or chipboard. And here I'm going to use one of the chipboard squares from Hot Off the Press. And these are really great for creating focal areas that are just the right size and they're sturdy without being too bulky. So I've got a little piece of my rice paper here. I've also got my Cosmic acrylic glue. This is what I use to adhere my rice paper onto my surface. I've got some water in a mister, and of course I'm working onto my craft mat. That's going to make everything work a lot more easily. I've got a paintbrush here. Water brush will do the trick as well. Just need something to apply that watery glue onto the chipboard. So the first thing I'll want to do is figure out which portion of my rice paper I want to use. So maybe I'll choose this section over here with that beautiful butterfly. Now what I like to do is sort of chop out a portion of this before I start gluing things. It just makes it a little bit easier to handle. So I'm just going to take some scissors and snip that piece out. A little bit larger than my piece of chipboard, so that's okay. And then I'm going to put some of my Cosmic Shimmer acrylic glue right onto my craft mat. You don't need a whole lot. It kind of depends on how much of a surface you're covering. I'm going to add a few spritzes of water here. And then I'm going to take my brush and just create a watery wash of glue. And then I'm going to apply this right onto my surface. And I'm spreading this watery glue all over the front of my chipboard piece. I really want to make sure, especially, that the sides and the corners have plenty of glue on them, because of course that's what gets handled. Okay, so I've got that all on there. Make sure and put your brush straight away into a jar of water to keep it clean. And then I'm just going to position this here and pop that down. Starting from the center, I'm going to smooth this out. And the nice thing is, if you've ever done traditional decoupage with tissue paper and you got frustrated with air bubbles, this doesn't happen with rice paper, which I love. It makes it so nice and easy to use. Okay, so then I'll just smooth this down again, making sure I've got lots of coverage at the corners. And then what I can do is just flip this over and trim around the outside edges. I do like to make sure that this is dry first before I do that, so I don't get any glue on my scissors. So just let that dry and you will be ready to go. So I'm going to clean this up off of my craft mat here, and I'll set this aside, and then let's take a look at the card again. So here you can see where I've used that chipboard piece just as the basis of my card focal. I've inked the edges of that square with gold. Again, make sure that that glue is totally dry before you start handling it. It usually takes about maybe 15 minutes. Kind of will depend on where you live and probably how watery your glue is. So give it a little bit of time and it doesn't take very long at all. And then I use some foam tape to secure this to the front of my card. Now my card front is covered with this purple pattern paper. This is one of those gorgeous sheets from the pack. And then I've also added a strip of this collage paper. So this is a couple of inches wide, and this border is part of this piece of paper. And guess where it came from? Remember our bicycle? The part that I trimmed off is this section right here. So you can see where that ended up. So as you can see, you can use all of your little scraps of paper because they go together so beautifully and so easily. Okay, everything has been inked and glued to the card front. Then I wrapped a little piece of jute twine around here. I've got these gorgeous chipboard flowers plus a few butterfly dazzles, and these are from the Roses and Butterflies Engraved Dazzles pack. Now, these are a lot of fun to use, especially with pattern papers, because they are such a gorgeous gold, but they are clear. So you can just simply pop them onto, whichever one of your leftover scraps of pattern paper, trim around the outside edge, and you have beautiful coordinating butterflies. And I've backed them with some of the scraps of paper and then just used some foam tape to pop them on. I have a dazzle from the We're Together dazzle set here in the center. And then for the card inside, you can see I have some more pattern paper. I have a chipboard floral motif and some more dazzles here. Now I've got the inside front of my card has this jute piece showing. If you really didn't like this, of course, you could simply cover it with some more pattern paper. Okay, so I've got another card that I want to show you here, and that's going to be taking us also into some rice paper. So this one here, you can see I've used the Provence rice paper as the middle area, so a much larger piece. And for this, I've simply adhered it to white cardstock, the same way I did with the chipboard. And once that was dry, I trimmed it down and added it to the front of my card, which I've covered with this pattern paper. I have that large chipboard card focal, you may remember this one, and I've added a dazzle from the We're Together dazzle set, just right on here. Got a little heart on there, it's also from the same dazzle set, and a bit more of that jute twine. And then for the inside of the card, I have a large cutout from the paper pack Another strip of pattern paper, and more Dazzle's accents. Our last card features a combination of techniques with the addition of the double diamond background die from hot off the press. You can see that here. And I've cut this from champagne glitter cardstock because we saw how beautifully that Midas Gold ink pad worked with these papers. So I wanted to add in a bit of soft glitter, and this cardstock did the trick. So if you're not familiar with this is the champagne glitter cardstock. And it gives just a really nice subtle glow. It's not a high shine of glitter cardstock, and if you die cut it, it does not shed glitter all over your crafting surface, which is also a real bonus. Okay, let's take a look at how the card is all put together. So first, I've covered my card front with this text pattern paper, which I really like. And then I use the Eau de Lavande rice paper. And I've isolated out this section here, and I mounted that onto white cardstock. And then I simply glued that as the middle layer. Then on top we have the double diamond die, and I love this die. It's just such an easy way to add texture to the card. So you can see it's a nice big size here too. Now the cool thing is with this die that you will have the positive of the die shape, as you can see here. You'll also have all of the little innies from the diamond shape, and these can be used on your card as well. So what I've done here is, after I glued this down onto my rice paper portion, I popped in some more of those leftover innies, just added a bit of glue and tucked them right inside, and that gives a really fun effect as well. Then for the card focal, I have a chipboard die cut plus more of those beautiful butterfly stickers here, again backed with some pattern paper, and a gold script dazzle down at the bottom. Then for the card inside, I have some more pattern paper and some more chipboard elements here, those butterflies. Here's another butterfly sticker and a couple more of those little innies. And then of course I've got my dazzle down at the bottom. So that is our final project for today, and I really hope you enjoyed seeing this gorgeous collection and just how easy it is to create some really beautiful handmade cards. A big thank you to our friends at Stamperia for this gorgeous collection, and a big thank you to you for joining me today. We're so very glad that you're here, and we're really happy you are a part of the Paper Wishes family. Do feel free to leave a comment. We love to hear what you think. Each item can be purchased separately, and you can see them below. However, we've also bundled them into a creative money saver just for you. Be sure to see the money saver on the right side of your screen at paperwishes.com. And if you're watching us on YouTube, just have a look in the description box below this video. You'll find a link that will take you to our Paper Wishes webisodes page, and you can see everything I just mentioned. If you enjoyed our video today, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up. It helps people to find our channel. And don't forget to subscribe. We create 3 to 5 videos each week, so there's always something fun to inspire your creative spirit.